Welcome to the Equipped Agronomy Podcast, where we bridge the gap between seeding equipment and agronomy. Presented to you by Borgo Industries here in St. Bruce, Saskatchewan, Canada. My name's Curtis DeGoyer, and I have across from me Mr. Jeff Strukoff.
G'day, everybody.
Hi, Jeff.
How's it going, Curtis?
Oh, it is good. It's a beautiful day.
So we're going to start this adventure, and you're going to tell me exactly what we're going to talk about.
Today, we're going to talk about a trial that we put in last year. This is the first year of a 3-year trial. Soil enhancement products we're testing.
Yes.
You remember this one? We had it off on its own kind of thing on another quarter.
This is kind of our own you and me curiosity trial.
It is. This is a trial where, there's a lot of different products out there on the market to make a lot of different claims. And this trial is not meant to, I would say, favor one product or bash a product, or that's not what we're here for.
Oh, no, we legit want to find out what works and what doesn't. We buy the product. Yeah. It's not even sponsored by anybody.
Yeah, no, we did this out of some curiosity. So let's lay it out a little bit here. Some products that we were playing around with. They're all granular products. So that was the first thing. A lot of products on the market are liquid, but for our test, we just stuck with granular products. So we had 3 different products out there. We had a Humalite from Top Crop is where we got it from. So what's Humalite? It's basically, it comes from Hannah, Alberta. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, apparently it's like the only place. Anyway, that's what the website says. Humic acid in there, and it's for moisture retention and nutrient efficiency. So this is just, essentially just a granular product, goes in the seed row. All of these will go in the seed row. And I think it's just to help it take in some moisture, hold some moisture for that developing crop. And there's some other benefits in there that, they're made claims. But I think that's pretty much the gist of it. Next product we've tried out, H-Start from Humaterra.
Yep.
Also actually kind of local. Birch Hills, Saskatchewan, just down the road. Full spectrum of fungi and bacteria to improve soil density. That's kind of their claim. They've got some research out there, and some guys using it.
It's kind of like the reintroduction of beneficial. What's the word I'm looking for?
Like benefit, like microbial
activity. Yeah. Like monocrop fields for so long, and you degrade certain species of that, and you just introduce it again. So I don't know.
A full spectrum. I think that was the big thing. There's a lot in there that hopefully will be able to benefit the crop. So
I actually got up there and see their production facility. It is nice. It's pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah, and they got a big quarter of land there that they split up, and they're doing some research on there. So
But we're going to do our own. We're going to see what we see.
Yeah. So that's the second product. Third product, AnneMaxx from Annalita. This one's an interesting one. AnneMaxx Biome. They have different types, but Biome is the one we're using. So microbes, bacteria, fungi, and organic matter.
How do they get that product?
Well,
Harris?
Jeff, this is an interesting one. This is from worm castings. Worm castings, another word, is worm crap.
Poop?
Yeah, let's go with that. AnneMaxx, so it's, from the way I understand it, they essentially use byproducts or like from grocery stores will come in and bring the products that can't sell anymore, and then they'll put on these digestive beds, put the worms in, let them do their thing, and they collect these extracts from it. And it's worm castings, mostly made of 50% worm castings, but then they also bring in some other stuff into there as well, humates, calcium. So that,
those are the 3 we started with.
Those are the 3. It's kind of like, we've got some humic acid.
Finish laying out how we did the trial.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, humic acid, fungi, bacteria, and then fungi, bacteria, and organic matter. I guess, so they're all a little bit different. Okay, how do we lay this out? And I think maybe this is one of the things when I look at a lot of research out there with different products that we wanted to make sure we laid it out, I would say, what I deemed was proper, right? And we compared things together. Some products will say, okay, well, use this product. You can cut your fertilizer by 75%. And look, here's the difference, right? Or there was no difference, but I saved 25% of my fertilizer. It's like, well, great. did you do it when you just cut the fertilizer and didn't apply anything else? Like what happens if we just cut our fertilizer?
Yeah.
And I think that one, I would say that's maybe one of the common ones, but we just wanted to, anyway, set it up, side-by-side trials out there. So we took a piece of land, designated for 3 years here, and this is going to be an important part of it. But we'd have these 30-foot strips like we always do.
Mm-hmm.
The treatments that we laid out was either no PK. So we have our control. So there's no phos, no potash going down, okay, in the seed row. And then we applied all 3 of these products, all with no PK. We put them into the seed row. Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's nothing in the seed row except for like there's nothing, or there's these 3 products out there. Okay. Actually, you know what? I have to amend that. We did apply PK in the mid row on this in wheat. So we laid this out in wheat. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so there's nothing that went in the seed row. All the PK went in the mid row, but it was just these 3 products. We just wanted to see the effect of what that product did with no fertilizer in the seed row. Okay, so
we got that isolated. Yep.
Yeah, and then we brought the PK into the seed row with the 3 products. Right? We had it alone, and then we had the 3 products. Okay, and now we went to the 75% FERT. So we're putting down, we're cutting our rates, saving 25%, put it down, and then we brought in those 3 products, all in the seed row. All right.
So there I was.
So there we are.
Yeah.
Okay, so we kind of have 3 things on the go. Anyway, all this is going to be online. Go check it out. But the point being, product on its own in the seed row, product with fertilizer and how it can perhaps enhance that fertilizer uptake, or a reduction in fertilizer with these products. Mm-hmm. Okay, because these products aren't free.
No, and
they are not free.
They're far from free.
They are an investment.
Yeah, it is a multi-year process. Don't expect huge results on the first year. It takes several years of application in order to kind of achieve the desired results. Yeah. From what we understand.
That is what's been explained to us as far as we're trying to change the soil microbial activity with some of these products, which maybe takes time to help it, basically get more active so we can use more of the nutrients that are in the soil, but also enhance the fertilizer uptake.
So when we go out this year, we're actually going to do the exact same applications on the exact same strips with a different crop this year.
Yes.
So
we'll get to that.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll get. Don't want to get ahead. Let's see what happened this previous year.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. We're gonna talk about the results on when we did all this. So we've got the different products. We've got the different fertilizer placements out there. What happened? Wait.
I'm not.
Wait. Do we have to back it up again?
You're pointing at me again.
Okay. Should we back it up again here? Where the soil and where these products are best used, because there are a lot of claims out there on different products. These ones, I can't say for sure on all of them, but you want to use it on maybe some of your poorer soils to bring them back into productivity. Mm. The land that we put this on, I would say, was just kind of. It wasn't bad land. It was on a nice,
far from bad land. It
nice
was actually
slope.
Yeah,
out there. I mean, it was 3.5 organic matter, pH 6.8. So it wasn't like it was not bad, right? So I think that's important too in some of these discussions with some of these products, right? But we laid it out to say, okay, we're just trying to enhance our fertilizer, right? So this is where it's going. Okay, now to the results. Okay, everything's laid out. Now to the results of it. There really wasn't any.
Well, yeah. There was a lot of work going into this just for the clean out and the individual treatments and everything like that. And it would have been nice actually. And I don't know if it was weather dependent.
We had good. Okay, so the growing season was a very good growing season. We have like 12 inches of rain.
Started off with awesome moisture in the spring.
Like we were into the 70s, mid 70s up into like low 80s yield.
Yeah,
across the board, and even where we put the PK didn't go in the seed row at all, went in the mid row. It wasn't that was actually one of our high. That was almost the highest yield there.
I think the only
not significant.
Yeah, the only consistent result was when we cut the fertilizer back, we got less.
We did get less.
That was kind of the
So there was a benefit to putting that full rate of fertilizer.
Yeah,
and when we say less on average, like the trend was kind of 3 bushels less. So 76 up to 80s is where we're typically at. Okay, So that was one segment of it. Between seed row and mid row, actually interesting there. Seed row, putting PK in the seed row in general was better. Right? Yeah. And I don't think that was a surprise in any way. We've done a lot of different testing with PK, splitting, let's say, in canola, put a little bit in the seed row, the rest in the bander. With cereals, just put it all in the seed row.
Put it in the seed row.
Yeah. And we actually saw, so we test yield.
Even though I would argue that there still is some benefit from getting a phosphate a little bit deeper in the mid row. You run into those dry years where maybe it's lower in the soil profile and you get a little bit more access later in the season. But cereals in general, they tolerate way more, and you can pack it all in the seed row, and that's good. But
yeah,
I don't know. One could argue, do you use the bander or not? But,
again, the root structure, the way it grows, though, they don't really – like canola shoots off to the side, right?
Yeah.
Wheat is a little bit more 45-ish down. So in any case, put it in the seed row. We saw it here again.
Yeah.
Just in general, your PK, I think that showed up. Even the plant stands actually went a little bit higher when we put PK in the seed row. Like it wasn't like
a little bizarre.
Yeah, it wasn't like toxic or anything. So maybe in some of these cases we got some inter-row competition. But if there's enough nutrients in there, then they all get their share. They all get their piece of the pie there. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was an interesting one, kind of a trend. We'll see if that shows up again here. We use a 3/4 inch knife, 10-inch spacing.
Yes.
With banders. That's another thing of this trial. So proteins were within 0.5-ish or so. There was some differences, but no trend really. Well, other than the fact that the lower fertilizer had lower protein.
I'm excited for this year. I want to see. I think after 2 years of application, hopefully we can actually see some. One thing that I did notice, and I don't remember the treatment, but I did remember when I was spraying the field across, there was some strips that actually had lodged. And I can't honestly remember which one it was.
I'll have to go back and look at some of the drone. We'll have to look at that,
but it was interesting.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, there's definitely some that were delayed, like where we put that PK out in the band.
Yeah.
Like those strips showed up like a sore thumb out there, which is interesting that the yield didn't. Anyway, that was there was definitely a delay there.
But the long and short yield results, there wasn't
nothing
really a lot
conclusive,
statistically significant.
So then, in between the different types of products, really nothing there at this point in time. So, to your point, moving forward, 2025, the plan there is now to seed canola on that, right? Good wheat canola rotation, and with that, though, because we want to be putting down these products, they want them there for at least 3 years kind of thing. We said, okay, we're going to do this.
We're setting aside this land for this many years to do this project.
We're going to put canola, we're going to seed it down the same strip, maybe move it in between the row or something like that. We're going to seed it with that product or lack of product or no product, right? The controls and all those. Yeah. So it's going to be the same treatment on each one of those strips. It's just canola, which is very different from what we do on all of our other trials, right? We usually rotate the field. We don't come back to where we put trials for 3 to 4 years. Yeah. So this one we're putting right on it. And with that, we're hoping that those benefits will show up in that side-by-side out there. So
at the end of the day, like we had talked about earlier, like they're not free. So
no, like these
we need to start to see some. You got to make money doing it. So
like the cheapest one was $9 an acre, and the most expensive one was like 23.
23, yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's and we're putting down as far as rates of product. Where did I have that? We had like 15 pounds to like 35 pounds. So it's not like you're only putting a little bit. Like it's also a logistical thing with this as well. So there better be a return on your investment because for $23 a year. Let's face it, I can put down quite a bit of extra phos or nitrogen
or whatever.
Right? Yeah. The things that I would say have proven in the past themselves. Now, not to say we should do everything that we have been doing in the past just because we've been doing it that way. And, just to back up from these products, but just in general, a lot of these soil additive products out there, whatever they be, right? We've got to make sure that they pay. And is this going to be the end all be all as far as the test goes on it to say, yes, it works or no, it doesn't work. Well, I mean, there's always going to be asterisks in there, where our soil type or where we are, or, we're not dealing with salinity in this particular area. So there could be people who have seen benefits out there. And I think that's the reason why we're testing this, because we get asked this. Mm-hmm. Hey, have you guys done any work with this? Have you done any work with that? I lose track of the stuff that is out there. There's just that many. And, we're just tackling these 3 to see if these ones have any differences out there, right?
Yeah. I have spoke to people that have seen benefits, which is nice. So I guess if we can confirm that, that'd be great.
Yeah, if we can confirm it, or exactly. If we don't, well, okay. Well, if you still having benefits out there, I mean, it's your money. You're going to put it into whatever you choose, and if it's this, that's fine. But I think it's just to be aware of sometimes how the protocols are set up and what you're comparing in some of these things. And I think that's the watch out more than anything, right? And on some of these claims, and I think that's fair to say, right? Like it's not. Yeah. Anyway, not bashing. Or promoting in any case at this point in time. No,
but it is going to be interesting going forward, and we'll hopefully after 3 years see some benefits.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Mm-hmm. Was there kind of anything else in general on this particular trial that you wanted to bring up, or just in general on fertilizer additives?
There's oodles of them out there, and buyer beware, I guess.
Here's a question for you. Yeah. This one you may or may not know. I don't know. So there was a change in the fertilizer industry where this was quite a few years back. I think there has to be, in fertilizer in general, you have to be able to provide that analysis of nutrients.
Guaranteed analysis.
Okay, so that hasn't changed, but you don't have to guarantee that it works. Is that right?
That like product? I couldn't comment on. I'm not sure.
Not sure? Yeah. I thought there was something like that where, And is that why we're getting inundated with all of these different products coming in? Because I thought at one point before you could sell a product, you had to prove that A, it was safe, B, you're selling what it was supposed to be in there, and C, that it actually worked. And I could be wrong.
I have my own theories on that, and it's more geared towards the retail system and the way it works. The retail system is a very low margin business model now. Like it's really, margins have really eroded. And there's a lot of people trying to sell a lot of things that they can actually make some margin selling. So I'm not saying that these products don't work. I'm just saying that there's a lot of, there's more of a push to actually try and achieve some margin in some products that retail sells.
Right.
So it seems like there's lots of them that are in that, $5 to $9 an acre mark where
just chuck it in, right?
Just chuck it in, just throw it in, throw it in. Well, I don't know, like
$5 to $9, you can get like agronomy scouting, or you can get, like you said, additional phos or nitrogen, but like fungicide.
I always advise guys, until you're actually maximizing your macronutrients, don't even worry about some other things. But maybe that's backwards thinking, because there is a lot of guys that more nitrogen, more phosphate, probably get more benefit from that. But unless you're willing to do that first, it's hard to expect some of these things to actually function the best to the best of their ability either.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Almost, could almost speak to micronutrients almost in the same way like micronutrients. If you have micronutrient deficiency, you're going to have a yield reduction. Like we know it affects the crop. That's 100%.
We use copper every year because we know that we're copper deficient, and we see that it works.
Yeah, but if we're only putting on 40 pounds of N and put in copper, why would we?
What are you doing?
You got to go for the N and P and K, and then you go after that. So anyway, there you go. Well,
that was a good diversion. Holy.
Well. That's a good discussion in general, because it comes down, the conversations come around to that sometimes, right? Like, where are we putting the cash? Yeah. And so we're going to test it out, and we'll see what happens next year.
There you go. Two guys' opinion.
That's all it is, with some real trial data there. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much for tuning in on this, and we'll chat with you again.
Great chatting, Curtis.